Hello everybody, how are you? Today, we're talking about the essential confirmation that Resident Evil 2 is no longer canon. So if you've not been living under a rock, then you know, as of right now, Resident Evil 2 Remake is Game of the Year and is the highest rated game of 2019. But you may not know is that there's been loads of discussion with the fans of the series as to whether or not Resident Evil 2 Remake is the true Resident Evil 2 or just fan service, since a lot of the game's original story and enemies were cut. I was on the side that Resident Evil 2 Remake was the canon because it is better than the original and honestly every single way, but that's not saying much as Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, and Remake 1 have all aged extremely poorly to the point that they're literally unplayable unless you were there when those games were brand new. I'm a part of Generation 2 of Resident Evil, so I didn't hop in fully until Resident Evil 0. Shout out to all the mid to late 90s babies out there. Opinions aside, Capcom posted this tweet to the Japanese Resident Evil account, which says yada yada by Resident Evil 4 for the 12th time, then proceeds to say, the majestic figure of Leon grew from the scourge of Biohazard RE2. Biohazard RE2 is the name of the Japanese RE2 remake, and they said this instead of Biohazard 2, which confirms all of our suspicions and fuels Team Remake's fire, as this is the article confirmation we needed to see proof that Resident Evil 2 Remake is the new canon. I doubt anybody is upset over that, because now that gives backing to our other suspicion that Capcom is in the process of rebooting Resident Evil. I mean, I enjoyed Resident Evil 6, but every game between 6 and all the way to 7, especially 7, just got progressively worse over time, to the point that Resident Evil completely lost its personality. Now, you may have personally enjoyed those games. I enjoyed several of them, but there's no denying that Resident Evil lost its personality between 6 to 7. But with the release of Resident Evil 2 Remake, it showed everyone that Resident Evil can be saved, and that Resident Evil is not shilling out to follow trends like the games between 6 to 7 did. And Remake 2 brought us back to not only horror, but the controls that Resident Evil deserved, the gameplay Resident Evil deserved, and the cameras Resident Evil was meant for. In conclusion, we now have the confirmation we needed and can look forward to a new line of canon for Resident Evil, and who knows, maybe the leakers who shall not be named were lying about the Resident Evil 8 details too, so maybe 8 will be more story from the early days of Resident Evil to bring out more support for the story, more backbone, and new lore for future titles to follow. You never know, Capcom's done it before, Capcom may be about to do it again. We may be about to see a whole lot cooler stuff for Resident Evil. With that being said, are you okay that this is the new canon instead of the original? I'm perfectly fine with it, as I said, but don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, try not to die, and I will see you in the next video.